Next speaker is Dr. Paul Bigliardi from Singapore. The title is Variations and Similarities of Human Hair Follicles and Papillae from Vertex and Occipital regions in subject with androgenetic alopecia and healthy contrast.
Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for the organizers giving me the opportunity to show some preliminary results of this investigator-initiated trial. There is no conflict of interest, however I got some technical support by Procter & Gamble and also for the FUE's support by Bradley Wolf. So there were two goals in that trial. First, to find new pathways, pathogenetic pathways in androgenetic alopecia in males, and also get some insight in new markers. And secondly, we wanted to combine objective measurements, clinical measurements and markers, also new, novel, non-invasive techniques, and combine them with modern RNA sequencing results and get the best out of it by correlating all these clinical markers with the new molecular biology markers through rigorous bioinformatics. So we had 20 patients, male patients with androgenetic alopecia and 10 normal controls, and we did these several measurements in the ring area, temporoparietal, where there was the hair loss, and also in the occipital regions. We took also follicular unit extractions, and what we did as well, we cut the lower part of these follicular unit extractions to get information on the bulb area for full RNA sequencing. So first of all, we did high scope imaging of the different areas, and what we could see was that in measurements of about 2,400 hair follicles, that there was a clear reduction of the width of the hair follicle when they just came out of the skin, but only in the patient's vertex area. Otherwise, there was no significant difference. There was also no difference in the density of the ostia of the follicles in patients or controls. What was interesting and what was significant, and that's published before, that actually per follicle, per ostium, there is usually in the patient vertex area where there is the hair loss going on, a reduction from 2, 3 to 4 hair follicle per ostium to 1. What we did as well, as I told you, we took from each patient about 5 to 6 follicular unit extraction from each area. We imaged them under a dissection microscope before we removed the bulb area for RNA sequencing, and we could find out that in the patient vertex area there was a significant reduction in depth, in length of the hair follicle, but also significant reduction in the width of the hair bulb. So there was a clear miniaturization of the hair follicle. So as I told you, we took then this entire bulb area, and it was important that we did it from follicular unit extraction so that we really also had dermal papilla cells in there, and we did full RNA sequencing. And there was the biggest difference clearly always when we looked at or we compared patient vertex area, the area where there was the hair loss, with any others like control occipital, control vertex, or also patient occipital. You can see here that comparison patient vertex versus control vertex, we had 52 genes upregulated, 10 downregulated. They were the most significant genes. The bioinformaticians put on very rigorous restrictive statistics so that we could only find the most significant one. When we look then at the distribution pattern, at the clustering of these different hair follicles, of these RNA sequencing, we see one clear clustering of patient vertex. 7 of these 20 patient vertex were clustering together in this area. We saw another clear clustering where mostly control vertex and occipital were in there, and then we had a transition cluster where we had mostly patient vertex and occipital in there. That gives us a clear difference between the controls and the patient vertex and some intermediate genes or intermediate follicles that goes on an intermediate stage. If you look at these 7 hair follicles in the patient vertex that were really different, you can see that they were mostly miniaturized hair follicles. Now it was important as well that we were sure that we always got dermal papilla cells in there, and we looked at the expression pattern and we could see that all of the hair follicle that we looked at had typical dermal papilla signals in there like versican, and they were not changed in the different between patients and controls. So that makes our genes that were up or down regulated much more significant. So as a first conclusion, we can say we had miniaturized hair follicle in androgenetic alopecia. That's nothing new. And in the healthy volunteer, there was really no difference between vertex and occipital. If you look now in RNA sequencing what kind of genes were up or down regulated, mostly up-regulated, then there were markers or genes from the lipid synthesis, including also prostaglandin, electron carrier activity, mitochondrial metabolism genes, and this was most important here. Some of these genes, lipid synthesis, again prostaglandin prostaglandin E, what we heard before, already based before, electron carrier activity, also oxidative stress, redox state, and this icosanoid signaling. Future work is now that we go further in this analysis, really do more rigorous, clear cluster analysis based also on the information we got from the clinical measurements. And I want to show you as a last slide here a new method that we employed also in that study is called photoacoustic imaging that goes about 1 centimeter into the skin. This is now accepted for publication in the Journal of Investigative Dermatology. You see here from the temporal area the hair valve, hair shaft. It's non-invasive technique. You see the sebaceous gland, and here from the occipital area, similar imaging, a lot of hair shafts, hair follicles, subcutaneous fat tissue, and here on that side the sebaceous gland. These are modern, novel technologies that give us the possibilities to really compare and bring together the different technologies, RNA sequencing and imaging, non-invasive imaging. Thank you very much.